This is such a special place. You drive through the streets of Green Bay, no tall buildings, quaint houses, and then boom, right there in the middle of the neighborhood is iconic Lambeau Field. Today, after a crazy opening weekend, it's on to week 2, and we've got a good one here between the Houston Texans and the Green Bay Packers. Two teams here fresh off Week 1 victories. Who can keep it going as we're underway on EA Sports? Rodgers going to the air to start things out. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Hill.
And as a quarterback, you're always pleased when you can use all the weapons at your disposal. Here he spots his fullback underneath, gets the completion right there for a nice pickup.
Now the man from UTEP, this is Aaron Jones. 2 yards, good enough for a first. The Packers at 1-0 on the year following the win in Week 1, and they were able to get that road victory in the opener. Now they look to get to 2-0 in front of the home crowd.
And look, any road win in the NFL, that's huge. But when you do it Week 1, that gets you pointed in the right direction and sends notice to the rest of the league that you mean business.
And they'll keep on the ground with Jones. And some room to work. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. That one good for 37 yards.
That's a nice run right there, able to get to the outside. And so many times defenses say, okay, we got you hemmed in. But if you're running the football, at least you know where everyone is coming from. You don't have to worry about the backside at all. That allows you to run with a little bit more confidence as you traverse down the field.
So now then, the big play has him all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. They'll go again to Jones. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. So after the loss of a yard, they'll look to push forward here on 2nd down and 11. Now they'll throw with Rodgers. And he's going to go down. They sack him back right around the 30. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game.
In every game we talk about what are going to be the keys as we go into it. Maybe that's a key for their defense today. Pressure the quarterback and make sure you play a good zone defense behind them, and they get their first sack of the contest.
Rodgers now, after the sack, he'll lead the pack up on 3rd and long.
Go to 50. Hey, you block over here.
Here's Rodgers to throw. And this pass broken up. The contact well timed there, and now 4th down.
Brandon, watching their tape from last week, I saw plenty of plays like we just saw there, forcing incompletions. It was key in their win last week. They're hoping the same thing happens this time out, too.
And this will split the uprights. It's right down the middle. And the Packers are off to a 3-0 lead. Even though they didn't find the end zone, they have to be pretty pleased with how they moved the ball on the ground because we know that that was one of their big goals in this game.
And that really goes through the entire offense because when you're running the ball effectively, just about everyone's involved. It's not just the guy carrying the football. It's everyone blocking for him, both inside and on the perimeter.
They'll send the tight end in motion left. They'll start on the ground with Bruce. And he was able to shed one tackle but could not get away from there. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. Those defense for the Packers, terrific last week in the season-opening victory.
And one of the key things you always look for when you're evaluating a defense is how opportunistic are they? How many takeaways do they get per game? And how about last week's game? That number, 6. Absolutely phenomenal performance. They were on top of their game right from the first snap.
On 2nd and 9, Herbert. And a quick throw here, that's complete. So back-to-back plays, each get nothing. And that's going to set up a tough 3rd and 9. They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the first. Going to throw on 3rd down with Herbert. Ball hit as he throws there, incomplete.
That was their first 3rd down try of the game, and clearly something was off in the execution of that play. Good news, they've got a whole game left to clean that up and start clicking on those key 3rd down throws.
Taking it about the 36. Following the punt return here, there is someone shaken up. While they come out and take a look at him, we will step aside for just a moment. About set to get this drive started, the Green Bay offense at the line. They've got a 3-0 lead and the football as they start 1st and 10. They'll start the drive with a carry by Jones. And a pretty athletic run right there as he's going to get this down inside the 40. 51 yards rushing for him as he's got the afternoon off to a great start. They're making a real first-quarter statement with a run game, no doubt.
For those who remember old-school football, running it, establishing things, seeing backs find holes, get through them, they've got to like what they're seeing from this unit so far. Right now, they've decided to, as you said, establish the run game, and they've been successful doing it.
And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or two shy of the 10. A very solid gain of 27. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
Well, I think the hope is, with a touch pass like that maybe you catch the defense off guard, but they were all over that one.
And it is the kind of play that works better against certain defenses, and this clearly was the wrong one to run into. Really nice job getting him down behind the line of scrimmage.
On 2nd and 12, Rodgers, and he's gonna go down. He's sacked back at the 24. Carl Lawson with a little how do you do as he gets in there for the sack. Three 3-0 after one on EA Sports. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down went backwards. It's third and very long. Rodgers going to throw. And this is intercepted, but they'll say out of bounds. So very close to a turnover there in the end zone.
And that's why defenders are often frustrated offensive guys. Actually made the catch, looked good doing it, but couldn't get his feet down in order to finish off the takeaway.
So scores on their first two possessions, but 6-0, so field goal is probably not what they were hoping for.
Now, you're exactly right about that. Not what they were hoping for, but they should be happy that they have points on the board. It almost feels like that old slow and steady wins the race, doesn't it? In this case, though, they want to be slow and steady now, but get explosive later and put the points up on the board.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. They are still in search of their first points of the ball game, but only down 6-0 as they begin with a first down.
And a short pickup to about the 27. It'll be second down.
They suspected it was a power play up the middle coming at them, and boy, were they right. That defense got downhill in a hurry and limited them to just a couple on first down.
Now a dump off here complete. And they're able to get this one across the 35. A pickup of 11 and a Texans first down. Now it's Herbert. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36. That one unable to develop, never got going. A loss of a couple, and it's second down. On second down, here's Pierce. And down he goes at the 45 after a pickup of 9. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. And they'll try and run the option to pick it up. A gain of 8 on the keeper and a first down.
Well, he is certainly dangerous when he spots a lane, and he keeps it himself there. Worked out well.
And how about the moving parts on a play like this? You know you have to practice it over and over because it's almost like a ballet that has to be choreographed. But how about once he made the decision to go, he committed to it and went. Let's face it, most teams are going to defend the running back much more than the quarterback on that time.
And a big loss here as he's taken down. Preston Smith comes in for the sack.
Well, that's a pretty darn good start to his season, huh? A sack in the opener, adds a second one here. That tells you about his offseason. He came in determined to have a big year, and it's paying off.
Now this one from about 2 counties over after the sack. They come up on a second and very long. Now a nice throw here right side. He hauls it in. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. A big gain there after going backwards, and that'll lead to a third down.
And that was yardage that they needed there after the sack on first down. They didn't get all of it back, but now they look at third down as a manageable situation, one that they have a much better chance of picking up.
On third down, here's Pierce. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember, the last drive, they went 3 and out.
So from the 36 now, first and 10. First down, they go right back to Pierce. And he can only manage to get a couple. Second and 8 coming up. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be second and 8. Two minutes remaining in this first half of football. Option play, and it's a handoff to Pierce. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Got to get to the 26 for a first. This is third down. Herbert now. He's going to let this go for the end zone. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had it and dropped it. That is an unforced error there, and it takes away what could have been a touchdown. Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts as they stop it prior to what will be an important fourth down. Here we go on fourth. Herbert. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Eric Stokes. And the Packers are going to have it here just past the 25. He's at it again, Charles. He had the pick six last week. Not a pick six here, but an interception.
It's another Oski, because that's the word we use when we intercept a pass. Oski tells your team to rally around and block for you. So that worked really well last week because he made it all the way to the end zone. This week you got Oski, maybe not a touchdown, but boy, he's playing really well. 60 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here this first half. First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
The previous run, good for 9. Here's second and a yard. On play action, Rodgers.
That is caught. It's the tight end, Tunyon.
The Packers going to use one of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1.
Second and short, that's a rundown, so it's definitely a good time to go play action if you're feeling it. And they do so and pick up a first down.
On first and 10, here's Rodgers.
He's got the hook up with Dobbs.
And he'll cross over out of bounds right at the 25. A well-executed 22-yard gain. Now Rodgers. And incomplete on the deep ball.
It sort of looks like they start some fight in them on this series because it seemed like things were headed for the red zone. But if this defense gets 2 more stops, they can keep them out of that area.
An incomplete pass leads to second and 10 from the 25.
88.
Again, they'll throw with Rodgers. And he's going to be taken down back around the 35-yard line. Carl Lawson. That is now 2 sacks for him here in this first half.
So, Charles, no turnovers yet for this offense, but those sacks now, they're starting to pile up.
And one thing usually leads to another because they've got to figure out how the offensive line and everyone else involved in protection.
Looking for Jones, and it's intercepted.
Picked off by Josh Jobe. And the Texans will take over here at their own 12-yard line.
Oh, and I saw the pressure coming at him. That just looked problematic. Hit him as he threw it, and the interception ensued.
Let me pay homage to the man who stood in this spot before. He always talked about how much pressure is in the face of a guy, and can he step into a throw. And when you can't do that, oftentimes interceptions result.
So a couple of field goals, that's all we've been able to muster through 2 quarters of play. 6-0 is our count at the break. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gordon. The Texans down on the scoreboard, but they do get the first crack here as we are back underway in the second half. They'll elect to bring it out here from the end zone. Oh, a dangerous return man showing it here. He's at the 40, the 20, 10. And he'll bring it back all the way. Touchdown, Texans.
That was a special return, and it happened because he's a special returner. He has to have that approval from his special teams coach's head coach to bring it out of the end zone.
But let's be honest, a lot of times when they bring it out of the end zone like he did there, they don't have approval. I mean, I think a lot of times they do, but correct me if I'm wrong. Sometimes it's just a guy getting a feel, right?
You're exactly right. What's the old adage? Sometimes you just have to know when to break the rules, and if you do, you're taking on some responsibility, but he was happy to do so there.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. Now, this game, it has obviously been all about the defense on both sides of the football. Which offense is going to break through here? We'll see if they can do it on this drive. The second half starts with a carry by Jones. That's to about the 28. Second down coming up. When you think about the strong safety position, they're the more bulkier guys in the free safety, but that time great athleticism to hustle in and break up that play.
Yeah, this defense as a whole has really been flying to the football all game long. They have not allowed too much of anything, and here's another example. A great play there to get in and disrupt it before it could get going.
There's the stiff arm. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 79 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon. After the run by Jones, here's 1st and 10. On 1st down, they'll go to the ground attack. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. So a step in the wrong direction. Now they'll look to make amends on 2nd and 14. Now Rodgers. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by L'Jarius Sneed. And the Texans are going to take possession of the football. He had his eyes on the end zone. He got close. At least he set the offense up nicely, but he's probably mad he didn't take that one to pay dirt.
I agree with you, and you know he's going to get teased because he didn't get it all the way into the end zone. But if they don't score now, if they don't get a touchdown, he won't just get teased. They'll be glaring at him. How'd you not score?
And not a whole lot there. He does get a couple, taking it from the 5 down to the 3. Oh, how about this call down near the goal line? And this one will wind up with him losing yardage back to the 4-yard line. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
Yes, indeed. That play there, that reminds me of some of the guys that I played with that have that suddenness, able to get into the backfield almost about the time the ball snapped.
And he gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Houston. Dameon Pierce, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Texans take the forced turnover on defense and convert it into 6 points. Extra point by Mevis is up and good. And the lead is up to 8. Out is the Texans kick team as they'll send this one away. And here comes a return from the middle of the end zone. And he will be brought down here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17. About set to get this drive started. The Green Bay offense at the line. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers together and say, all right, guys, we're going to lean on you through this patch. We need you to get us back on track and get us going in the right direction. So you're calling plays geared to them. Not necessarily what you look at your plays, oh, this hurts the defense. I want the ball in the hands of X, Y, and Z and see if we can move forward.
So don't get too cute. Go to the playmakers. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. Work to do here to avoid falling to 1-1, but this is 1st and 10 right now. Working from the gun, Rodgers.
Oh, and this one incomplete. The pressure got to him as he released it. And it's second down.
But they certainly aren't letting up today, partner, because they've forced big turnovers already. And it's been incredibly tough for them to get yards against, let alone put points up on the board.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete.
At this point in the game, and the situation they're in, partner, these incompletions that we're seeing, they need to turn into positive snaps, and soon.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions.
Go to 50. Hey, you block over here. 26.
To throw is Rodgers. He is going to find Hill here.
And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped.
Well, that's one way to convert on 3rd down, picking up 26 yards.
And I like where this offense is going. I like what they're thinking because they want to spread the wealth and move the ball around. And they decide to get the fullback involved in these pass patterns as well. Normally, 2-yard hitch or a little flare out of the backfield. But this time, they send him downfield. He's able to make a big play.
This one he stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
Only needing 2 yards on second down.
Hey, check 26.
Rodgers again now. And Rodgers intercepted a 3rd time.
Picked off by Christian Harris. And the Texans are going to get it back here just past the 35.
That's now his 2nd interception in as many weeks from his linebacker position.
And think about all the different techniques he has to employ in a passing situation. Is he spot dropping because it's zone? Is he picking up man-to-man? Is he having to run with a running back or a tight end? In any event, great eyes, head on a swivel, and excellent hands.
Yeah, versatility and showing those hands.
And Pierce gets it again on second down.
Found a little room there as he's up to about the 37.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. Herbert. Firing quickly here, and that's complete.
And he is going to have a Texans first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Herbert on first down now. Steps away to his left. And that is incomplete.
He did a fine job there of not hitting him before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
He's going to try and go deep again. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today.
And the Texans will have the football as this is taken up past the 30.
How big is that penalty? Wipe out the INT.
You'd hate to be the teammate that caused that penalty and wiped out the interception. You got to face that guy in the locker room. Not a lot of fun for you, and you hurt your squad.
On 1st and 10, Herbert. And he'll just get rid of it.
And I could see the officials kind of looking at each other down there, silently wondering, does this meet the level of grounding? Fortunately, he did have a receiver in the area, but I have seen less obvious throwaways called as penalties.
To throw again on second down. Herbert. Wide open receiver complete. And he'll be brought down on what's going to turn out to be the final play of this 3rd quarter. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the 3rd quarter has come to a close. This is the National Football League on EA Sports.
This offense really looking polished these first couple of weeks. Here's 1st and 10. 1st and 10, it's Pierce. And he'll be taken down at the 2-yard line. 58 yards rushing on 12 carries for him now.
Well, it is our business to analyze what we saw out there. And on that play, I saw defense staying in base, not taking a chance, not blitzing in a situation where they absolutely need the football back. That's either a case of overthinking it or not thinking it through.
If you do blitz, do you have to be careful about where you're coming from, or are you just coming? And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked off by Darnell Savage. The 40. Past the 20. And into the end zone. It's a pick six and a Packer touchdown. Make it back-to-back weeks now with a pick six for him. He had one a week ago.
Talk about being in the groove, and what are the odds of what we're seeing right here? You don't see it happen very often. Listen, if you get a pick six in a season, it's been a big year, let alone back-to-back weeks. I'll tell you this, I wouldn't play cards against this guy in the locker room.
So after the INT, it's Rodgers. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six, and now the kick is away.
And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive.
Their lead is hanging by a thread after that pick six, but look, they're still in the driver's seat. Now the question, how aggressive will they be on this drive? Time to find out.
Now on 2nd and 13. Herbert toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. A fresh set of downs on a gain of 13 there for the Texans.
Working with the lead, trying to get to 2-0. Here's 1st and 10.
Justin Herbert looking to pass. And he wisely will throw that one away.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. They'll try again from the 36 on 2nd and 10. Here's Herbert. Got a man over the middle, and it's complete. And this is going to result in another first down as the tackle's made at the Packers' 40. That one goes for 24 yards.
These guys certainly are not hiding what their intention is. They're absolutely showing it. They're definitely not going to sit on this lead here in the fourth quarter.
So into Packer territory now. Here's 1st and 10, right at the 40.
Pierce takes it straight ahead.
And he'll take this one down to about the 40. The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Back to throw here, Herbert.
And this will be well too low for him to bring in. It's incomplete.
The defender certainly didn't forget about him leaking out of the backfield. There was a guy ready and waiting to pick him up in coverage. And that throw had no shot.
One of the bigger plays in the game thus far. The crowd getting into it as we come up on a big third down. Now Herbert with it, looking to pass. And he comes back with one complete. He's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20. 7 catches for him now, and this last one, a first down. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on third down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
Pass incomplete, but the flag in the backfield, and this might be a roughing call. Trailing in the fourth, this close of a game, that's a penalty you just can't afford.
It's an absolute killer, and it's one that drives coaches and teammates insane.
After the penalty, a fresh set of downs. It's 1st and 10. Back to the ground with Pierce. And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. Dameon Pierce with 2 touchdowns on the season, both in this game. And the Texans are able to build on to their 4th quarter lead. Extra point by Mevis is up and good. And that makes this a 9-point game. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This will be brought out from the middle of the end zone. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And you figure after giving up that last touchdown, they trail by 2 scores here in the 4th quarter. This drive becomes very critical. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down.
And they have just not been able to block him at all throughout this game. Seems like every other play, he's doing something in the backfield. Already got 2 sacks, and now here's a tackle behind the line.
Rodgers' throw brought in by Watson. And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. Rodgers now on first down. And this one incomplete. Threw it down at the feet of his receiver.
Well, he certainly did a nice job improvising there, extending the play, hoping someone would come open downfield, but they never did.
From the 34, they'll come to the line on 2nd and 10. Rodgers with a give. It's Aaron Jones. And this defense able to plug him up there as he'll get a yard to the 35.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So it's Packer football here as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Throwing is Rodgers on 3rd down. Throwing left side, it's complete. And he's going to be taken down with another first down as the stop's made at the Texans' 40. Now Rodgers. And this is taken in at the 5. It's a big play there for Green Bay. And even 40 yards. Now Jones. And he takes this one into the end zone. And all of a sudden, here in the final minute, things get a little bit tighter.
So another touchdown for him on the year now, Charles. He had 2 in the opener last week and hits pay dirt for a 3rd time here.
And with good health, he's got a really good chance to be up there among the leaders in touchdowns scored when this season comes to an end. Quick question, partner. Is it bad luck to toast him with a sports drink?
Not at all, partner. I think that's a fantastic idea. Cheers.
So with exactly a minute to play, here comes a critical onside kick. And this is going to be recovered by the hands team. And that should just about put a capper on this one. Fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
Pierce now up the middle. And he stopped immediately there. The Packers going to use one of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 55 seconds remaining in the football game. They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL. And he used to have a meeting with his running backs every year in the offseason and say, look, as many times as you're going to carry the ball, you should be able to carry it one more time, so make sure you get in shape.
So their move is to decline that so they don't get another second down. It'll be 3rd.
So that has to tell us that they're pretty confident in their 3rd down defense, right?
Absolutely.
Whether it's a sub package or nickel package, whatever they want to run out there, they feel like they can defend here on 3rd down.
The line to gain is the 33 on 3rd down. Herbert now to throw. Finds a man with a crossing route. And he's across for the touchdown. And in the final minute, that should just about seal it.
Obviously, Charles, such an important, well-executed touchdown, and that caps off what has been a strong second half. Remember, they trailed at halftime.
And how about the response? That's the type of thing that every team talks about before a season begins. Don't worry about the scoreboard at the half. Let's play strong in the second and come out and take the fight to our opponent. They did exactly that, and now they have the lead to show for it.
The extra point by Mevis is up and good. And it might seal the deal as that makes it a 2-score game here with not a lot of time remaining.
And this is going to be returned from the middle of the end zone. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20.
About set to get this drive started. The Green Bay offense at the line. They might be thinking this is close to a lost cause here. Got to play it out. What do they need to do?
Well, they have a thought process in mind already, but they can't get ahead of themselves. They know that they need to score quickly.
Yep, 2-score game.
Onside kick and get the ball back and then score again, but they can't worry about the last 2 points. The only thing that matters is scoring quickly, then they'll take it from there.
To throw is Rodgers.
To Dobbs, and he hauls it in.
Now the Packers going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as they get it with 26 seconds to go in the football game. Back to throw, Rodgers. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And this is intercepted, and that should do it.
Derek Stingley picks it. And the Texans are going to have it here just past the 25. Well, obviously, Charles, this stage of the game, down 2 scores, they had to put the football in the air. Unfortunately, it gets picked off.
And the criticism comes easily in situations like this, but you just laid it out. Look where they are on the scoreboard. Look at where the clock is in the game. He has to take a chance here and try and get the ball downfield to his receivers. Unfortunately, it was picked off.
Well, somebody lit a fire under that offense during the break, Charles. Remember, they trailed at intermission. They come out, they have the big second half, and that lifts them to the victory.
And Brandon, trailing at halftime, we always talk about teams making adjustments. You know what the best adjustments usually are? It's just executing better. Because the game plan you put in place at the beginning of the week often still holds. You don't have to make wholesale changes. You just have to do it a little bit better, a little cleaner. And they did that in the second half, and that led them to victory.
So for the Texans, it's a dream start. 2 wins in 2 early road games. And they'll return home next week to take on the Detroit Lions. Meanwhile, for Green Bay, they'll fall to 1-1. And they'll be off to Minneapolis next week for a look at new U.S. Bank Stadium and a date with the Vikings.